top tips on how to prepare for interview and what to do in an interview. But I think the critical thing is to make sure that you're absolutely on top of the stuff that you ought to be on top of, which is to say, what you've studied in school or college that's relevant to your proposed course of study, and right the way across the sixth form, so year 12 and year 13, do some revision. I would also say that it's really important to ensure that you can back up what else is in your personal statement. So if you've said you've read particular text, you need to have read them, and it would be a good idea to cast your eye over them again before the interview. We're not going to be drilling down on lots and lots of details, but we tend to ask people to step back from the text that they've read and summarise the argument. And that's one of the things that we're looking for, is that people, they have that kind of the overarching grasp of the point of something that they've read, that they've understood it and they've seen the big picture. So we tend to be looking for that. So don't stress about, I need to know absolutely every detail. You really don't, but you do need to have that good, solid, commonsensical grasp of the things that you ought to have a grasp on. In the interview itself, remember that we're on your side. If you look at how people do at interview, if you look at the marks that they get on interview, you can see from the profile of marks obtained by people being interviewed in Cambridge that, broadly speaking, the interviewers have a favourable predisposition towards them. So they will be generous minded. Don't worry about mistakes. We tend to focus on what you do well, not on what you, in inverted commas, get wrong. And have integrity, have confidence. Tell us what you think. If the thing that you think really persuasive, and the counter arguments that we might be putting to you are not so persuasive, then stick to your guns. Explain to us why. If, on the other hand, you realise partway through an interview that you've just contradicted something you said earlier on, self-correct. That's a really good sign for us if we see somebody who's spotted a contradiction in what they've said. Don't be afraid to go back. Treat the conversation that you have with the interviewers in exactly the same way that you would treat a conversation with your friends or your mum and dad or your teachers, where you just tell the truth. You just tell it like it is. And you recognise that our expectation of you is that you're a bright, interested 17-and-a-half-year-old. We're not expecting you to be at undergraduate level. If you're already at undergraduate level, why would you be coming to university? So, don't have unduly high expectations of yourself. Make sure that you can do and do all of the things that we might reasonably hope that you will do at this stage. And if you don't understand anything, if you're confused, if the questions aren't clear, or you've not covered something in your syllabus, just say so straight away, and we'll be able to make a little change and move the interview on. And as you go, don't dwell on how each little element is going, just move on to the next question. Think hard, listen hard, try to answer with precision. And that's it.